to see what happened. We may have lost an engine, may have just got in a wreck. You know, I think the bottom line behind this is if we didn't blow an engine, we had no business back there where we was. You know, NASCAR had no right to place us back there. They told us we could talk about it after the race, but a lot of good that does now.
It's Larry McReynolds, crew chief on Davey Allison's points-leading team.
Both Allison and Waltrip are behind the wall as a result of that crash. We'll take another break and be back with more from Bristol International Raceway.
The search for that next used car will be over when you come to Pocosin Motors Regional Used Car Center. Our large selection guarantees it will have a car to fit every need. Hi, I'm Chuck Allen with just a few of the fine cars we have available, like this 91 Ford Taurus with tilt, cruise, automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, and AM/FM radio. You can really save on this sporty-looking family car. The first-time buyer is going to love the low price on this sporty 91 Geostorm with automatic transmission, air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, and AM/FM radio. If you want sporty looks in a family car, then this 87 Olds Delta 88 is for you. It comes with automatic transmission, air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, AM/FM radio, and great savings. We have satisfied customers from New York City to Raleigh, North Carolina, and we're adding more every day. So come to Pocosin Motors Regional Used Car Center and see why our customers keep coming back. Pocosin Motors Regional Used Car Center, a proud member of the Pomoco Group.
Opening day triple header begins when Jack Morris takes the hill for the Blue Jays. In his way awaits the awesome swing of Tiger Cecil Fielder. It's an opening day triple header, Monday, live on ESPN.
Well, I hope you're ready for the opening of the Major League Baseball season. A triple header tomorrow here on ESPN. Near the top 10 now at the end of 289 laps. It's Brett Bodine, Kulwicki, Labonte, Jarrett, and Schrader in the top 5. But then 6 through 10, Dale Earnhardt back on the lead lap. Trickle, Ricky Rudd, Hutch Strickland, and Derek Hope. Now, right after our coverage of this event, more racing. This one of a little bit slower nature, but nevertheless no less exciting. The Defender and Challenger semifinals from San Diego coming up at 3:30. Eastern Time here on ESPN. And at midnight tonight, the Grand Prix of Brazil. Now, if you listened to Speed Week last night, and by the way, we're back at 7:30 on Saturday nights now, you'll know that Mansell is on the pole, but the McLarens have qualified their brand new cars and may be a threat to ending Nigel Mansell's winning streak. That's at midnight tonight. John Kernan is with Darrell Waltrip.
Bob Darrell sitting in his car, work continuing. As you said, the rear end had been pushed over. Darrell, caught up in something not if you're doing. Things happen really quick here, don't they?
Yeah, you know, Davey blew up, and I got in oil and I couldn't get out. I just hit the wall and tore the car up real badly. But I just hope that everybody back home and everybody was watching, I was really enjoying myself. I was having a lot of fun. The car was just excellent. The crew was doing a great job. And all you Western Auto fans and all you DW fans, hang in there. We'll get it turned around. It ain't going real good right now, but we'll get it turned around. And I just praise the Lord I ain't hurt.
I tell you, it looked like the DW of old brought back some memories from some years ago of running here at Bristol.
Man, I mean, I'm physically in the best shape I've ever been in. I got a great race car. I got a great crew. We're just having terrible luck. Boy, if anybody knows how to turn luck around, please call me. I need it bad.
Darrell Waltrip still smiling after the incident today. Work continuing. They're pounding on the rear end guys down here. It looks like they'll still be a little while longer before they get him back out.
Yeah, when you hear the hammer, you realize it's not good.
Yeah, that's right. The louder the hammering, the more you know it's not a very good story. Brett Bodine leads this Food City 500. Alan Kulwicki is in second place. They're separated by Dick Trickle. Here comes Morgan Shepherd past Kulwicki.
Trying to get a lap back.
Well, they would have on fresh tires.
He's 13.
The leaders didn't tip this time.
Morgan's about 5 laps down.
He's made a couple of unscheduled pit stops under green.
Look at Dale Earnhardt coming back up through.
Just took over 5th place from Kenny Schrader. Dropped Schrader back to 6th. Only 6 cars are in the lead lap now. Trickle, who is right behind Brett Bodine, is in 7th position. He is 1 lap down. The Snickers Ford. Trickle has had good runs in that car since he got in.
He's had great runs in Atlanta. Had an excellent chance to win the race. Yep, Bill Elliott, fuel mileage did everyone in. Fuel
mileage or tire mileage. Brett Bodine, there's Earnhardt trying to get around Derek Cope. Derek is 1 lap down in the 10th position.
Brett Bodine is pulling away from the others. Kulwicki is second, then Terry Labonte running in third spot, and Dale Jarrett is in fourth. I'll tell you what, we mentioned the teams and the drivers that have had trouble, but not so Terry Labonte. Again, the Billy Hagan team is really on this year. They come into this race fourth in the point standings. They have finished in the top 10 every single race this year.
Terry's a good heady driver. He's a good race driver and a good smart race driver as well. Keeps his car under control at most times and is a good finisher. And he also is very high on the crew that he has. He made some personnel changes during the winter. Pete Wright's back over there now. And Pete and Terry worked together earlier. And of course, they got Sunoco sponsorship locked in there that's been real good for them. So they just got a lot of things going. Running Oldsmobile here today, and he ran a Chevrolet at Daytona. Said he's going to run a Ford at Talladega. He sort of tongue-in-cheek the other day. He said, about time we get that Ford built. Said they'll change the rules and slow them down. He sort of laughed and said, we'll still have them covered because we got a Chevrolet and an Oldsmobile.
Right now, Dale Jarrett is all over Labonte. Dale running fourth, and he's had a good race. Here's Labonte. After 5 races in 1992, he is fourth. Compare that to last year after 5 races. Boy, a tremendous increase for Terry Labonte.
Those cars look awfully good going around the racetrack, not moving, just hanging right in there. Cars seem to be running a little bit higher on the racetrack than earlier in the race, Ned.
Yes, they have moved up just a little bit as Jarrett tried to get a nose under Labonte coming off of turn 2, but couldn't quite do it. He appears maybe right now he might be just a tad faster than Labonte, but he just can't get up there and make the pass.
196 laps to go. Another Autolite field summary showing Bodine, Brett in the lead, pulling away, as a matter of fact, from Alan Kulwicki. 6 cars on the lead lap. Rusty Wallace, 5 laps down in 14th.
Now he's made some unscheduled pit stop. There, Jarrett got the run he needed off of turn 2.
He goes to third.
And Labonte backs off, lets him go.
Well, that's one of the things that's helped him, Denny. He realized that Dale might be a little bit faster right now. Labonte slipped a little bit, let him get under there. And so he's not going to take any chances of tearing his race car. There's Earnhardt catching both of them.
Yep. Gary Gann is out of race, so is Dave Marcus and Sterling Marlin out very early. There's a crash involving himself and Richard Petty. Let's go to Jerry Punch with an update on Davey Allison.
Gentlemen, Davey Allison still behind me inside the infield care center, lying on a table. He's been examined by the doctors. I've been in there and I talked with him. He's awake and alert, complaining primarily of some pain in his right ribs. Apparently, he blew the engine going down the backstretch and hit the wall a ton. So they don't think he's ever hit that hard in his life. He's awake and alert. The doctors are trying to convince him to get some x-rays of those ribs, but Davey just wants to go home. It's been a long day already for him, but he's awake and alert. Should be okay.
Current Winston Cup points leader being treated for some injuries in the infield care center. Dale Earnhardt is now past Terry Labonte. Earnhardt is fourth.
Looks over that 4th spot, no problem.
At one time, he was 2 laps down. Hut Strickland spins coming off of turn 4. He got a little high. He's right in front of Dale Jarrett. He gets by. Hut keeps the car down on the inside. Caution is out again. Hut just got his right wheels up in that loose stuff. Benny, you mentioned a moment ago they just don't want to get up there too high, and they shouldn't because it cost Hut.
Strickland was running in 8th position. He's not going to lose a lap, but it will slow our race for the 9th time today.
Now, the leaders didn't pit the last time under the caution, fellas. I expect we'll see them come in this time.
Okay, let's see. Pace car pulls out. As he goes by, he will open pit road for these fellas to make their pit stops if they so desire. Here they come.
Now we'll see if Kulwicki will try another one of those gas and goes. John, we'll watch with you.
Paul Andrews and the crew waiting. Alan Kulwicki, he has radioed in and told them the tires feel pretty good, and they are not going to change tires. They're going to opt for track position. So the gas can goes in, and they are now filled, and Alan is away. Now down to Brett Bodine's pit and Jerry Punch.
And Brett Bodine has had right side tires already put on the car. The leader, the Quaker State Ford Thunderbird, Kenny Bernstein-owned car. They've cleaned the windshield, now put left side tires. Brett Bodine having qualified in the top 10 every event this year. And Earnhardt are having trouble a little bit in front. Remember, his car behind him hit the car in the box, and NASCAR taking a long, hard look. A little bit of trouble with the left rear on Brett Bodine, cost him about 4 or 5 seconds, but he is now down and away.
Cost him about 4 positions, too,
Yeah,
Gary.
it did. Yep.
He came in leading the race, and he's going to go out running about fourth. Fourth,
It's going to be Kulwicki, Earnhardt, Jarrett, then Brett, and Labonte. Back down to John.
Well, we're with Paul Anders, Allen's crew chief. Paul, the strategy there, I guess the tires are feeling pretty good to him, huh?
Yeah, the tires are good. You know, we've done this stop before. It's like 30 laps on the tires. We really don't want to change right now. We want to keep everything it is. We want to get back in front. We want to stay up front. We want to lead this thing and win this thing.
Now, you won a race here in a different car last year. Allen said he wasn't superstitious, so that's why he decided to bring a different car, the same car you ran at Darlington.
Yeah, you know, this is a good car. It's an older car. We've ran it before. And like you said, we ran it at Darlington. We feel good about it. That's why we decided to bring it here. It's basically the same car as what we won here with, though.
Well, that's the crew chief of the pole sitter, Alan Kulwicki, and kind of a cautious smile at this point in the race, gentlemen.
All right, let's take a look at how Dale Earnhardt's car is positioned as they work on the machine.
Well, he's drove the car in, and he could not get into his pit because the 26 car was there. So we see the right rear is over the yellow line.
And the 26 car of Brett Bodine is back on pit road.
I guess the right front is in properly, and we understand from NASCAR that is the key, that the right front is in the pits where it needs to go.
And here is Hut Strickland's spin from our speed shot.
See, it just gets very high, Bob. He got the right wheels up there in, we'll say, the loose stuff, and it just broke loose with him. No one around him. No, he was really running good and just spins around, doesn't hit anything.
Brett Bodine in again, and they're changing all 4 tires on that car again. We're set to go back to green in a few more laps.
It was just another Saturday afternoon until those old guys came out of the woods with axes. Just when we thought it couldn't get any weirder, it did. They even brought their own music.
Awesome! Hey, fellas, how about a cold bud? A bud?
Obviously, we thought alike.
Oh, that's cold.
If I want to keep playing baseball, I'm going to have to keep working. There's no off-season anymore. And when I get sore, I take Advil. To last, you stick with what works.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
It's a tractor value like no other. For only $999.99, get this Craftsman 2 12.5 horsepower tractor with 38-inch deck. Save $250 during Sears Days. It's a spectacular value above the rest.
Win a trip to the World Series or a week at ESPN's Fantasy Baseball Camp. It's the Babe Movie Contest. Call 1-900-737-1714. The call costs 99 cents a minute. To enter, correctly answer a question based on the movie The Babe, or send name, address, phone number, and the name of the last team the Babe played for to this address. Winners selected by random drawing. Get a different trivia fact nightly on ESPN's Baseball Tonight. And watch for The Babe, starring John Goodman, at a theater near you.
Back to green at Bristol International Raceway, where Ken Schrader is the leader of this race now, with Alan Kulwicki running in second spot, then Dale Earnhardt, and Brett Bodine has been black flagged for passing a car before crossing the start line.
When you go into turn 3, the cars have to be 2 abreast, and they can't be 3 abreast before the green flag. And he moved up on the outside of Dick Trickle, was not in fact 2 abreast. NASCAR black flag before that.
And he just lost. There he is. You can see him going to the high side, passing Dick Trickle before the green comes out in turn 4.
He almost got into the wall.
Well, Brett was the leader not too long ago, but now finds himself a lap down because of 2 pit stops and the black flag. Ken Schrader
Didn't make a pit stop, Bob, on this caution. He was running about 5th, I think, or 6th, and came in. Did not come in. So he stayed out there. Apparently felt good with the tires he has on. It looks like they're working okay for him.
Watching the leader from the roof cam on Mark Martin's car. John, why didn't Schrader come in for a pit stop that time?
Bob, I just talked to Richard Broom, the crew chief. He says, hey, we only had about 30, 35 laps on that set of tires. We've been getting good tire wear all day long. Car felt good to Kenny. They figured that there's going to be another caution before they run out of gas. So they decided to stay out there, pick up a little TV time maybe as they lead this race. Now let's go down pit road to Jerry Punch.
John, let's update you a little bit on our current Winston Cup point leader, Davey Allison. Davey thought he had blown an engine because that's what he knew. The car suddenly just got awfully slippery. Oil came out, and he hit the wall. But in actuality, what happened, they broke an oil fitting. So the crew, now the Haviland crew, are trying to get the car repaired. They're not sure if Davey's going to be able to go because of that rib injury we talked about just a minute ago. So they may look for a backup driver. You know, Davey started the car, so they still get the points and get the car back in the race and maybe hang on or at least stay in the top 2 or 3 in the Winston Cup point standing.
Anything to hold on to those point standings and to gain as many as you possibly can. So we'll look for that 28 car to possibly return to the race with a relief driver in the next few minutes.
Looking out the back of Morgan Shepard's car, who just passed Kenny Schrader, the leader. The white car is Schrader. He's the leader.
Alan Kulwicki right on his bumper now. Now way out in front of this 25 car is Ricky Rudd. He has gotten back in the lead lap. He is the 6th place car now. There were only 5 cars in the lead lap, but now Ricky Rudd has gotten back in the lead lap. Schrader not running as fast as some of the leaders before. You can see Alan Kulwicki really working on him.
The 6 cars that are in the lead lap: Schrader, Kulwicki, Earnhardt, Jarrett, Labonte, and now Rudd.
Mass coming back in after spending a lot of time in the pits in the Skoll Classic car.
So Morgan Shepard passed Ricky Rudd. He mentioned just a moment ago. Rudd is back in the lead lap.
And Alan Kulwicki is right there on the rear bumper of the 25 car of Ken Schrader. And remember, Kulwicki did not change tires this time. Once again, using the gas and go method.
And of course, Schrader didn't change cars, so he didn't make a pit stop. Now, might be smart on Schrader's part. In fact, he's picking up some PB time, and he got the 5 bonus points for leading. And every one of them's going to have to make another pit stop, guys. They can't go the rest of the way, so I guess they figured that out. So why not run up here while we got to stop again anyway for gas?
169 laps to go.
And Schrader keeping that car right on the bottom of the racetrack, not slipping up. Kulwicki goes by. He's probably going to have to do it on the outside unless he can get a good run off the corner and get a position on the inside of Schrader down the straightaway.
Here's Earnhardt trying to come on the inside of Hut Strickland. Hut, of course, is running in 7th place. He is 1 lap down.
There, Kulwicki's on the inside of Schrader. Got position. Can he maintain?
Into turn number 3.
Yeah, he
does. Yeah. Alan Kulwicki goes back into the lead again. He was our pole sitter, and if he should win this race, he'll pick up the Unocal bonus money worth $22,800.
Michael Waltrip in the 30 car, 2 laps down to the leader.
And here comes Earnhardt now taking 2nd place from Schrader. Don't count Dale out by any means.
I think Schrader's tires they're pretty hot right now, and not pitting even though they've only been on there maybe 30 laps. That's enough to get those tires really heated up, and they just don't adhere to the track as well.
Gary takes over that 3rd spot from Schrader. Meanwhile, Brett Bodine, the Quaker State Ford, who was penalized a stop-and-go penalty, which means he lost a lap.
He's in 8th position now. He's coming up on Dale Jarrett there, and the car number 12, Hut Strickland, who is running 7th. He's a lap down. Brett would like to get up there and pass Alan Kulwicki and get back in the lead lap. That's what he really wants to do. Now Alan Kulwicki is putting a lap on Ricky Rudd. I mentioned a moment ago that he had gotten back in the lead lap. Now Rudd goes a lap down again.
So just 5 cars now on the lead lap.
Dale Jarrett and Hut Strickland get together a little bit going into turn 1, and Hut slides high. Jarrett goes under.
Alan Kulwicki, the Greenfield, Wisconsin driver of the Hooters Ford, is leading this Sioux City 500 here at Bristol. We'll be back with more right after this.
I remember it felt like the hottest day of the year. I was all alone with the kids. Then it happened. The cooling went out.
Mommy, I'm hot!
I had to do something fast, and it had to be right. I called my Rheem dealer. He was there in no time. He said he'd take care of the problem, and he did. What could have been a very hot day in our lives was made right, thanks to our Rheem dealer.
You know it's right if it's Rheem.
Gillette presents Sensor, the system, the technology that will change the way you shave forever. Sensor, twin blades set on springs to read your face and respond. Independent suspension to sense and adjust to every curve of your face. No other razor comes close. Gillette Sensor, for the best shave a man can get.
The time has finally come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. Now you control the flow of paint, so the Wagner power roller can cut jobs in half. Smoothly and evenly, it can cover areas twice as fast. And cleanup is a snap, so you can finish one job and do another. Get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
This is where America gets together. Every weekend throughout America, there is great NASCAR racing.
I wouldn't be anywhere else.
.345 out of 500 laps in the Food City 500 completed here at Bristol. The leader of the race is Alan Kulwicki. Car number 7, the Hooters Ford. Second is Earnhardt, and third is Dale Jarrett. Well, here's Jerry Punch with Davey Allison.
Davey has walked out of the infield care center. First of all, Davey, how do you feel?
Well, I'm a little bit sore right now, but everything's okay. Took a pretty good shot up there. I don't know what happened. I turned down in the corner, and all of a sudden the car took off toward the wall. And I took a pretty good shot up there as I was coming back across. It kind of knocked the breath out of me, but everything's okay now. I can breathe fine. A little bit sore on the right shoulder blade, but we're going to go back to Birmingham, get it x-rayed, and see what's going on.
I understand they're working to try to get the car back in the race. I know you're not going to be a candidate to get back in it, but maybe someone could save some points for you.
Well, I'm a little bit too sore to get back in it right now, but maybe we can get Harry Gant or somebody else that's out of the race. If Harry Gant's out of the race, I think he was, but I don't know.
Davey Allison's going to head back to Birmingham and go straight to the x-ray department where he just told me a minute ago and get those right side ribs x-rayed.
Wouldn't that be something if Harry Gant got in Davey Allison's car to get him some points?
Yeah.
Because he pull away from him. To pull away from him.
Our Western Auto Race recap. Alan Kulwicki led 161 of the first 340 laps, 9 cautions, total of 71 laps, 5 cars on the lead lap. We've had 6 leaders and 9 lead changes at an average speed of 79.5 miles an hour. Among those who have led, Kulwicki, the current leader, also Dale Earnhardt, Allison, Darrell Waltrip, Brett Bodine, and Ken Schrader until just a few laps ago. And cars that are officially out of the race include Marcus, Sterling Marlin involved in an early crash, Harry Gant, and as you just heard, Davey Allison. The Western Auto Mechanic of the Year standings finds Tim Brewer from Bill Elliott's team on top, followed by Larry McReynolds, Andy Petrie, Steve Meal, and Kirk Shelmerdine from Dale Earnhardt's group.
You know, if Brewer wasn't leading, that would have to have a recount. I mean, 4 in a row.
But it's going to end. Bill Elliott isn't going to win today, having had all kinds of problems. They're looking at the number 10 car, Derek Cope, for maybe dragging something, maybe a tailpipe or something.
Can't see anything.
Don't see it right now.
He's running in 10th position, 1 lap down.
He's had a pretty good day. 31st position is where he started from, so Derek is indeed having a good day. And of course, Barry Dotson is the crew chief on that machine now. Another field summary for you as you look for your favorite driver. This one's sponsored by Fram. Look for your favorite driver, where he is running.
There's our leader, Kulwicki.
You will notice that there are only 5 cars on the lead lap. Rudd, Brett Bodine, Strickland, Trickle, and Cope all a lap down, 6 through 10.
I don't know if Kulwicki's just taking it easy or what, but he's not running as fast as he was earlier in the race. Michael Waltrip, early in the race, Kulwicki would have driven away from him, but now Michael Waltrip's right behind him.
Could be because he didn't put on new tires that last caution, didn't he? He's still running good.
Yeah,
he's running good enough to lead the race. Earnhardt might be gaining just a little bit on him right now, but there's no threat yet to
maintaining a comfortable advantage.
Saw Kyle Petty's name on there. Kyle is back out on the track in an yellow Pontiac. He had spent a lot of time after that crash we saw earlier.
Bernie Ehrman is also back out. He went behind the wall after that incident with Darrell Waltrip and Davey Allison.
We talked about the 10 car just a moment ago. NASCAR did black flag, or he just went in on his own. He did go in the pits, spend a lap or so in the pits, and he's back now on the racetrack.
So Alan Kulwicki looking for his first victory of 1992. Now right behind him is the number 9 car. That's being driven by Dave Mater III. That's the Melling car, which carries Food City sponsorship for this race.
If we go back, we'll see Dale Earnhardt, the 3 car, currently running second at GM Goodrich Chevrolet. And the next car behind is Bill Elliott. And there goes the Jarrett boy, Ned.
Yep, Dale still running in third. Trying to get around Elliott. Right behind him is Brett Bodine. Brett a lap down. So is the car right behind him, who is Ricky Rudd.
Then right behind him is Hut Strickland in the Ray Vestas car.
Sorry, Bob, all of those 3 cars, Brett Bodine, Hut Strickland, and Ricky Rudd, are all racing for position.
There's Wally Dallenbach in the number 16 car, the Keystone Ford.
That's out of Jack Roush stable. There's Schrader, the Kodiak Chevrolet. He's currently running 4th. The Snickers Ford of Dick Trickle. Next car on the racetrack, and right behind him is Terry Labonte in the Sunoco Oldsmobile. He is currently 5th. And Kyle Petty, who was involved in one of the accidents earlier on, is back on the racetrack, trying to get all the points he can.
And Mark Martin, who has had a lot of problems today in the Valvoline Ford, as we look at the group cam, as he goes down the back stretch, no one in front of him, not too close at least.
And right behind him is a 66 car. We're looking from inside Chad Little's Rob Hardy automobile.
There's Chad, and right behind him, now trying to pass him, is Jeff Bodine in car number 15. Jeff is being shown in 10th position, 2 laps down to the leaders.
And there's Derek Cope that I talked about just a moment ago. The pits. Whatever was dragging, they jerked it off from Bobby Hamilton. He was also involved in the crash with Kyle Petty. No, Ricky Rudd was in that wreck with Bobby Hamilton. The Country Time Lemonade car.
And the Country Time in-car camera also.
They took the lemon off of that car this week.
Oh, they used to have a lemon on the hood of the car.
Yeah, they took that off. They said they had
little bad
sophomore jinx. Wreck of the year last year, and boy, they have had some tough breaks this year.
Here's Greg Sachs in the Kellogg's car, number 41.
Maureen Shepard, the Sitco Ford. We also have an in-car as he drives up underneath. Greg Sachs tries to get by, can't make it.
He's 12th.
And then Ted Musgrave. There goes Morgan on the inside. Ted Musgrave, the white Jasper engine Pontiac. The next car.
A little bit of damage on the front end of that car, on the right front. We've already talked about the 66 car of Chad Little. And lo and behold, that makes us back around to the leader again. Alan Kulwicki. I believe we talked about everybody that's still out there on the racetrack.
And there comes a 3 car.
And the 4 car is in the pits.
And so is Michael Waltrip right in front of the 4 car. If we see the 4 car go out, we'll see Michael Waltrip's Pennzoil Pontiac, and they have the hood up on that car.
That's not a good sign. I mean, a race car, they can be in the pits, but when the hood goes up, it's a bad sign.
Here's somebody we didn't talk about when we were doing our pan backs. That's Richard Petty, of course. Car number 43, who was involved in a very early crash with Sterling Marlin. Overheating, apparently, the problem on Michael Waltrip's car. A lot of steam coming from the radiator of that machine. And there's the other one that we did not talk about, but we will now. That's Brad Teague driving the Jimmy Means car number 52. He is still out there on the racetrack and is shown in 22nd position. Brad Teague, car number 52. A little more than 100 laps to go in the Food City 500.
It's one of the most technologically advanced, most rigorously tested fluids on Earth, relentlessly measured for maximum protection against the friction, the wear and tear, the heat and stress of today's engines. It is today's Quaker State. In Europe, in Japan, in America, Quaker State quality has passed the most demanding tests automakers can throw at it. At Quaker State, we don't just say we're tough, we're tested tough. The big Q is one tough motor oil.
Here we go again, guys. Wow, I feel good. Yeah, this guy really gets around. He's got the auto lights. American Orient Paul, we're guaranteed. I feel good. Yeah, 2 years, no matter how far he goes. That's why we've been everywhere. Vegas. I feel good. Yeah. Daytona. I would now. LA. Wherever we're going. Super. Yeah. And we're not even tired.
Welcome back to Bristol International Raceway. I'm Bob Jenkins, along with Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch, as 377 of the 500 laps have been completed with Alan Kulwicki running up front. Second is Dale Earnhardt, the good red Chevrolet car number 3. Davey Allison's car is still being worked on, and there has been speculation as to who might step into this car if they could get it back out of the racetrack. Jerry, who might it be?
Well, they've been looking around. You know, they thought about, Davey mentioned Harry Gant, but you know, the General Motors Ford situation, I don't think that would really work that well. They were looking for a Ford driver. They have been looking for Sterling Marlin, and just a minute ago they found him. Sterling is willing to help out, but you got to make sure that it's okay with Junior Johnson, because if Sterling helps Davey, Davey would probably maintain that point lead. And the fellow who's running second in the points right now is Bill Elliott, of course, who drives for Sterling's boss, Junior Johnson. So they're going to clear with Junior before he gets in the car and goes back out.
Well, there's a lot to think about, isn't there, when you're looking for a release?
There is. It used to be real simple. You know, I got to tell you, we talked about the pit stop. We saw Earnhardt with his right rear sticking over the yellow line a little bit ago. Les Richter drew me a map a little bit ago, and held up the window. He said it's okay if the driver goes in that angle. The problem is he can't have both tires over that yellow line. You can't try to drive the car back out and have both right side tires over that yellow line. And that's what he's saying that Davey Allison did on the 28 car, that he had both tires over that yellow line.
All right.
And Kulwicki is slowing. I mean, this 9 car, he passed him about 15 laps ago. That's Dave Mater in the Food City car. And he just can't get away from it. And Earnhardt is closing in.
Dale is now within about a half a straightaway, or 3 seconds of Alan Kulwicki. Even less than that now as Earnhardt continues to close in.
Now, Kulwicki has about 71, 72 laps on those tires that he has on. Now, Earnhardt, meanwhile, only has, well, that's how many laps Earnhardt has on his. Kulwicki didn't change tires the last time he came in. So he has a lot more laps than that.
Let's check the interval between the two. Kulwicki in the lead and Earnhardt in second. Start and stop. Just a little over a second now. 1.1. And Allen has radioed his crew that the car is loose. We'll do it again.
And this time Kulwicki's going to be caught in some heavy traffic, so Earnhardt is going to close up. He's going to probably gain a half second on this lap. Let's see. Boom, boom. 0.2 of a second. Kulwicki's got 100 laps on these tires. They're getting worn. The car's starting to slip.
Yep, Earnhardt only has about 72 or 73 on his.
Checking the interval once again. Just about a second. It was 1.1, then it was 0.9. Now it's back to 1 second. So the interval is being maintained for the most part by Alan Kulwicki, but a lot has to do with traffic out there on the racetrack.
The traffic can make a lot of difference in your lap speed. You have to back off for just a fraction of a second, or it can cost you a fraction of a second.
112 laps to go. Alan Kulwicki maintains the lead of the Food City 500. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Ahoy, Tidewater. This is Adrian Karsten of ESPN telling you that you could be here with us in San Diego as we capture the excitement of America's Cup 92. Now, you could win a trip or two to San Diego, including airfare and hotel accommodations for 3 nights. Get to go out on the ocean and watch the Defender and Challenger races from the official viewing boats. Even get to see fabulous SeaWorld and the America's Cup Museum.
Be a part of America's Cup 92 by registering at Subtle Motors and Goodman & Sons Jewelers.
If you're apt to wind up in the doghouse for forgetting birthdays and anniversaries, stop by the House of Flowers in Farm Fresh and give us all those dates you usually forget. Then we'll automatically call and remind you at no charge when the date's coming up. This will actually save you money because if you remember, you'll give these. If you forget, you'll have to give these. House of Flowers in Farm Fresh. One of many reasons we're Virginia's grocery store.
Mansell is on a roll to his first World Driving Championship. Will Lady Luck stay on his side or will Ayrton Senna come from behind? Expect more of the unexpected at the Grand Prix of Brazil, Sunday on ESPN.
Many congratulations to Roy Barbrie from Morristown, Tennessee, today's winner of the Gillette Halfway Challenge Sweepstakes. He correctly named the leader of the halfway point and won a Chevrolet Lumina Z34. Now, entries are being accepted for the next race. Call 1-900-436-7000. The call will cost you 95 cents, and you must be 18 years of age or older. Or you can send your name and telephone number to the Gillette Halfway Challenge, Post Office Box 1868, South Hackensack, New Jersey, zip code 07606. And I'll bet the 30,000 residents or so of Morristown, Tennessee, which is located about 75 miles west of here, are dialing up Roy right now and saying congratulations.
I would guess about 5,000 are here this afternoon watching this race in person.
They'll call him tonight.
Yeah. Roy is glad that he stayed home, entered the contest, and knew who was leading at the halfway point because a Chevrolet Lumina Z34 will be on his doorstep before too long. Now, another field summary for you as we keep you up to date at least every 15 minutes on who's running where. This is within the last lap. Ram field summary for you.
Those are the 5 cars in the lead lap.
See Brett Bodine. And Brett Bodine might be the fastest car on the racetrack. Right now he's a lap down because of being black flag or passing on the caution flag. But
DW coming back out as we watch that third, the 11th through 15th.
There he is, Darrell Waltrip, involved in a crash with Davey Allison and others, goes back out on the racetrack. Allison continues to sit in the pits, but could get back out with a relief driver. 112 laps down, but Darrell is back in it.
You see Richard Petty, he's on the racetrack 139 laps behind. These cars have called it a day. Kowicki, once again our leader.
Coming up to put another lap on Rusty Wallace.
Speaking of Morristown, Rusty Wallace has a Pontiac leadership in Morristown.
And car number 12 of Hud Strickland got in the wall coming off of turn 4. Same place he spun a little bit earlier, but no caution. He's still going around the track. Boys, a lot of drivers out there say, hey, throw that caution, we need it.
Hud's slowing down now. I think he is going in the pits. He's slow.
He's one that would like to have seen that caution.
Watch this as we replay from our speed shot. Way up at the top of your frame. Watch carefully. Yeah, there he is. He's scraping along the wall between turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's back in the corner.
Jerry Punch is right there.
And a tough break for Hud Strickland after a great qualifying run in the Revestis Great Chevrolet Lumina with Bobby Allison on the machine. And they have cut a tire down on the right side. They will change the right side tires, fuel it up, and obviously losing even more time to try to pull some of the sheet metal away from that right front tire, which may have been what cut the tire down.
So Hutt moving back out with less than 100 laps to go now, 96. Make that 95 as Allen crosses the stripe. By the way, since you guys haven't mentioned it, congratulations to the Duke Blue Devils, who beat my Hoosiers last night, but that's where it goes.
Your Hoosiers put up a good battle.
Yeah, they did.
They sure did. It's a good game.
Let's see, there's an interval. Well, the clock didn't work that time, but it looks like that Kowicki might be gaining a little bit. Let's see if he can get by Bodine. He has a position on Jeff now.
Yeah, he's pulled away from Earnhardt a little bit. Earnhardt closed in, but I think he's pulled away. We'll see if this clock come by this time. Well, maybe we won't.
That time we didn't see the clock. 1.3. You didn't see it, but it was 1.3. So it is just a little bit more than it was.
The producer said he saw it, but I don't know if I would believe it.
He's the one that counts, though. Oh, there we go. Now watch. Boom. Boom. 1.3. Very nice.
This is close to true that. So he's opened it up a little bit. What was 9/10 just a moment ago? So he's gained almost a half second in the last 10 laps or so.
We'll do it again.
Yep. So he's maintaining the state about the same. But Earnhardt has that traffic that Kawicki has been able to get by. Jeff Bodine, Rusty Wallace, Derek Cole. Now Earnhardt is going to have to go by that traffic, and he probably will lose about a half second as he does that. But Kawicki's starting to catch traffic. There's Mark Martin directly in front of him.
Mark has not had a good day. He's 16th, about 9 laps down.
Kyle Petty, Wally Dallenbach.
Things are pretty much in a routine right now as nobody is making great movement either way. Alan Kulwicki is maintaining the lead by about 1.3 seconds over Dale Earnhardt, and he maintains an advantage over third place, Dale Jarrett. We'll take a break and be back in just a moment.
It's the Budweiser Pit Stop with Bill Elliott.
Hi, I'm Bill Elliott. Would you ever consider wrapping yourself in a thick blanket, turning up the heat, and driving around on a hot summer day? I seriously doubt it. That's what it feels like when we race on a warm day. The heat from the sun, the engine, as well as the driver's protective clothing combine to make it like an oven inside. Average temperature is about 140 degrees. You can sometimes hit 160. That kind of heat, a driver can lose 7 or 8 pounds during a single race.
So I'm doing my sound check.
Hello.
And I hear this woman's voice.
Watch that last card. I'll show you.
She grabbed the guitar.
And then she started rocking. No, I mean rocking. You're pretty good. Not.
Someone that hot deserves something this cold. Suddenly, I remember this was a butt spot.
I like your style.
Mark and my relationship goes way past business. I'm sure in a previous life he and I were twin brothers. Throughout the race, the driver and crew chief communicate. The driver complains about the car or brags about the car. It's the crew chief's job on pit stops to make whatever fixes he can to help the driver's predicament. Everyone has about the same access to equipment and technology, but the people who rub on it the most and think the most of it and think about it the most will end up winning the race.
ESPN's Cooking Up, a Tuesday night special of Surf and Turf. A sizzling serving of hot summer nights is a tasty appetizer. Then move on to the main course, a hefty portion of America's favorite pastime. ESPN's Tuesday night special, Surf and Turf. Just make sure you clean your plate.
Back at Bristol, and because of the baseball coverage that we will have tomorrow for you here on ESPN, a big triple hitter, our regular checkered flag program, which normally airs on Monday night this week only, will be at 1 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. That's ESPN's checkered flag series as we recap and take you behind the scenes of the Food City 500 here at Bristol. 1 o'clock Tuesday afternoon.
We see him there. Also, Dale Earnhardt is going to get very interested when these pit starts start, Ned, don't you think?
Yes, it will.
Are they going to change 2 tires, 4 tires? What are they going to do?
Yeah, it'll be a guessing game. I think Kulwicki might have to change 4 because he has 30 laps more on his tires than does Earnhardt.
And it's just like the deal in Atlanta. But if Kulwicki stops, Earnhardt doesn't, the caution flag comes out, then Kulwicki, who's dominated the race, is a lap down, maybe 2 laps down.
Yeah.
We mentioned earlier that Harry Gant won yesterday's Busch Grand National race here that we were unable to televise because of bad weather. It rained all afternoon and didn't get finished till about 7 o'clock last night. You can see that race in its entirety this coming Wednesday at 3:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So set your tape recorders for the Budweiser 250 here at Bristol that was run yesterday. Now, also we'd like to remind you about the Formula One race coming up at midnight, Speed Week next Saturday night at 7:30, and Saturday Night Thunder, which was on at 12:30 a.m. last night, will be on its regular time of 9 o'clock next Saturday night.
Right now, we're just seeing these cars driving around the racetrack for Wiki and Earnhardt. But I'm telling you guys, there's got to be some decisions made here pretty soon.
Yep. Let's go to John Kernan, who is in Kulwicki's pit.
Paul Andrews and the crew are planning on pitting in about 21 laps. Now, they won't let off if they're just going to go right sides or if they will just go a 4-tire change. If they opt to go right sides for a quicker stop, that means they would have 217 laps on the left. They have been seeing good tire wear, but that may be pushing it just a bit. Another thing, these guys know the importance of going up against the Top Gun crew of Dale Earnhardt, the former world champion pit crew. They've been down here loosening up, getting ready for probably the most important pit stop of their career. Ricky Rudd coming into the pits now.
Rudd, the first to come in of those running in the top 10. He is 7th, a lap down. They began work on the right side of the Tide Chevrolet.
The 26 cars hit the wall up in the third corner. His right front tire went flat as he went in the corner.
No caution.
No caution flag, though. Other cars trying to get stopped.
Scramble to get by him, but they did. Brett is nursing the car down the backstretch as Ricky Rudd pulls out of the pits after having made his what appears to be final pit stop. There's Brett. He brings the Quaker State Ford in. And Jerry Punch will call this pit stop.
And what was a good day has turned into a pretty dismal afternoon for Brett Bodine as he brings the battered Quaker State Ford Thunderbird in. They will change tires. Some depression in the grill in the front. The grill has been cracked a little bit. The crew, Donnie Richardson and the rest of the crew will change all 4 tires on the Kenny Bernstein-owned machine, losing valuable time here under the green flag with a little over 60. They're making 69 laps to go here in this event. Brett Bodine getting 4 tires. They're pulling 2 tires away from the right front, and he will be down and away. Whoops, they have trouble now with the right rear. 4 tires being lost. They couldn't get the tire to go back on. The air wrench wouldn't work. Now they get the air wrench working. The tire is off. He is away.
The 7th car is really struggling. Our leader, Alan Kulwicki, is struggling. Rusty Wallace has passed him. Now Derek Cope has passed him. Meanwhile, here comes Richard Petty with his rolling wreck. He's going to go by him.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt is struggling a little bit back there, too. Dale Jarrett has run up on him.
Dale Jarrett may have the best car on the racetrack right now because these guys are...
And Earnhardt's in the wall. Earnhardt hits the wall and turn 2. The car just shot right into the wall.
And the caution flag is out. On guessing game, they kept waiting and waiting for the other guy to stop, and it was Earnhardt that lost the tire.
Oh boy, things can change so quick here. But now he'll stay on the lead lap if he didn't do too much damage when he hit that wall.
Yeah,
we'll see. You can see there is some damage to the right front. Now, it depends on whether it knocked the thing out of the line. Here it is as he comes off of turn 2, starts off of turn 2. The car just goes up into the wall.
I would be surprised he can drive that car very well. And it looked like a pretty good lick to me.
Here comes Kulwicki, Jarrett, Schrader in the pits, and John Kernan is there.
It will be a 4-tire change now for Alan Kulwicki. He's over the line. He's over the line. He has to back up right there. That would have been a severe penalty. Now that he's taken the time to back it up, NASCAR says that's okay. Go about your work. It will be a 4-tire change. They are not having to do it as Dale Earnhardt comes down pit road into his pit for service. Kulwicki has right side tires on. That delayed him just a little bit. It may give a break to Dale Jarrett, who is off the jack and headed down pit road. Left side's going on Alan Kulwicki. Dale Jarrett will take the lead. Now let's go down to Dale Earnhardt's pit and Jerry Punch.
The kind of luck that Dale Earnhardt has had all year long in 1992. They had just called him back to come into pits when suddenly they heard that explosion in turn 1. The crew and all of us looked to the left. We saw Earnhardt's car speed up off the track and come against the fender. The field now coming out of turn 4. They're going to have to hustle. He'll lose a lap. Kurt Shelberdine tried to get that fender knocked away. And the NASCAR officials standing there, they have the go sign, nope, now the stop sign. So Dale Earnhardt will go 1 lap down, but he has already made up 2 laps today, and he will lose now another one in the pit by virtue of that damage to the right front.
And you could almost hear Dale Jarrett as he went out of the pit saying to himself, now take it easy, don't exceed the speed limit. I'm going to have the lead when the green comes out, and he will. And we're just a few more laps from the resumption of this race. Dale Jarrett will be the leader.
It's a tractor value like no other. For only $999.99, get this Craftsman 2 12.5 horsepower tractor with 38-inch deck. Save $250 during Sears Days. It's a spectacular value above the rest.
Top-of-the-line parts, expert advice. That's your Big A Auto Parts store.
Big A, the sign that keeps your car running right.
Hey, Mike, hand me my channel lock pliers.
Tommy, give me that plier over there with the blue handles. What kind of pliers is that? These are channel lock tone and groove pliers. My dad uses them on his race car, too.
For the tough jobs and the small jobs, reach for Channel Lock, the handiest plier of them all.
Hey, guys, anybody seen the channel lock pliers?
Channel Lock. Be sure you're getting genuine Channel Lock pliers. Look for this trademark.
You have missed less than a lap and a half of action. The green flag has come out. Dale Jarrett is the leader. Alan Kulwicki running in second position. Dale Earnhardt remains on pit road. And the 28 car, which normally is driven by Davey Allison, has gone onto the racetrack under the command of Sterling Marlin.
And this is Dale Jarrett's first time in the lead this year. Dale Earnhardt led earlier for the first time in 1992.
Look at Joe.
Joe's watching. You're looking good, Joe. The guy's on about the 20. Doesn't look like he's contested, but he could trip.
He's got 60 more laps to go. John Kernan is on pit road.
Bob, we talked about the rain yesterday. It washed out practice, limited practice, but Dale Jarrett was one of the Winston Cup drivers who competed in the Busch Grand National race. Even though those cars are lighter and they may drive them into the turns a little bit deeper, Dale told me this morning that he thought that would give him an edge over a lot of the other drivers. He said he knew what the track would do, how he could set the car up as the race went on. And as you see, he is pulling away, so they've got the right setup.
So he did learn something maybe during the Grand National. What did he finish? Third yesterday?
Finished fourth. He had a right front tire going down near the end of the race, and he was running third and dropped to fourth.
There's Kulwicki in second spot.
I don't think Kulwicki's losing any time right now to Jarrett.
I don't think he's losing any, but he's not gaining. Doesn't look like he might be gaining that much either.
His four cars are in the lead lap now.
You are just joining us here at the top of the hour. Stay with us. We'll take a look at some action that occurred a lap ago, and the 8 and the 6 cars came together. That's, oh yeah, some rubbing there between Dick Trickle and Mark Martin.
Trickle is running in 8th place. I mean, in 5th place now in the 8th car.
He and Terry Labonte both having good days. We'll have another field summary for you. Again, if you're just joining us at the top of the hour, 3 o'clock Eastern time, we're glad you could join us. Watch for your favorite driver here as 4 cars are now on the lead lap. We've only got a little more than 50 laps to go, and it's anybody's race, at least those on the lead lap.
Well, I tell you, Bob, it's not often that we see cars in the top 10 that are 3 or 4 laps down, but with all the things that's happened here today, it's not really that surprising. Alan Kulwicki now beginning to close in a little bit on Dale Jarrett.
Some of our spotters tell us that Terry Labonte has caught 2 caution flags today with flat tires. The tires were flat when he went in the pits and changed the tire.
And he's going to gain some in Winston Cup points because Allison, Elliott, and Gant all have had bad days, and Terry has once again had a very good day. The 3 car of Dale Earnhardt, one of those who has had a very big disappointment here in the closing stages of this event. He's sitting on pit road right now, hit the wall out in turn number 2 a few laps ago, and they're still trying to get that car in a position where they can put it back. And the Bill Elliott win streak will definitely end today, as you saw in our field summary, as Bill has had a myriad of problems.
Man, that 7 car is getting closer and closer to the Interstate Battery Chevrolet.
He's moving in, no question about it. And as Dale goes around the 52 car, Alan moves even closer.
Earnhardt goes back on the racetrack. There goes Jarrett by. Then in turn 3.
Dale Jarrett had his first career top 10 here at Bristol in April of 1987. He finished 10th in that event.
Kulwicki just a couple of car lengths.
Of course, only victory last year at Michigan International in one of the most incredible races that we have ever televised here on ESPN. He is closing in rapidly on Dale Jarrett. Closing to less than a car length now and looking to the inside coming off the second corner. Kulwicki trying to take the lead from Dale Jarrett.
On new tires, Kulwicki's car is definitely, all day long, he's been the fastest car on the new tires. Now, if it goes green the rest of the way, who knows? If they get heated up, I think Kulwicki will get by Dale. Maybe not, though. Dale will try to keep him back there. He'll make it work for it.
Yeah. Kulwicki looks on the inside, trying to see if he can get a bite, get position down the straightaway.
Now, now he moves up there again. Right before that caution came out, he had found that high groove, and it really was working for him. And he was picking up on Dale Earnhardt, and now he's moved back up there again. So let's see if that's helping him. No, I don't think it's going to help him enough.
If they didn't touch, they came very close.
They really did.
Kulwicki now will pull alongside of Jarrett, coming out of the second corner and down the backstretch.
And Hooter Ford is really working.
And let's see, they're still side by side.
They're touching.
The fans are loving it. First time we've seen cars run side by side here for a full lap, I believe, today.
Boy, Jarrett is hanging tough.
And high groove is working for him. Yeah. He stays in front.
He needs to stay up there in that high groove. Let Allen help the low groove there. Because running the low groove, he's going to use his tires up more than the high groove will. But Allen's car looks like it's working wherever it needs to go. Looks like he might try to move up there as well.
The advice from Father Ned is well taken because Ned won the fall race here in 1965, and the guy to my left, BP, won the fall race here in 1973. So both these guys definitely know what it's like to drive Bristol.
Seems like 2 generations ago, Bob.
It was a century ago. It feels like And you talk about Ben, you know, he was a famous race driver, of course, and he's a famous announcer, but he has really made it now.
Yeah.
He's in the Vortex comic book.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
And you and I are mentioned. I can't believe it. The first time I've ever been in a comic book. 460 completed. 40 to go at Bristol International Raceway.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard Oil Filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
Mark and my relationship goes way past business. I'm sure in a previous life he and I were twin brothers. Throughout the race, the driver and crew chief communicate. The driver complains about the car or brags about the car. It's the crew chief's job on pit stops to make whatever fixes he can to help the driver's predicament. Everyone has about the same access to equipment and technology, but the people who rub on it the most and think the most of it and think about it the most will end up winning the race.
Dale Jarrett continues to lead in the Food City 500 at Bristol with 35 laps to go and a Big A Auto Parts on-track interval showing you how Kulwicki cut down the interval between himself and Jarrett on laps 447 through 451. It was 0.8 seconds and minutes was reduced to 0.3 of a second, and now it is about a car length and a half. Although I'll tell you, Dale has held off the advances well and now appears to be pulling away just a little bit.
Well, that outside groove is working for him, Bob. I'm sure his spotter told him, say, hey, get back up there. You knew how well you were running before the caution came out with old tires on, so get back up there to save your tires up there. Allen has gotten under him a couple of times, but just couldn't make it stick down on the inside. So they're going to have to race. Here he comes again down on the inside as Michael Waltrip went very high out of the way of the leaders.
Couldn't do it. We talked about several drivers who needed to change their seasons around. At the very opening of the broadcast, Jerry Punch mentioned about Dale Earnhardt and Dale Jarrett, and Dale may be turning his season around here. He continues to hold off Kulwicki.
If he gets a top 5 finish, Bob, he'll have turned his season around because he hasn't had one. He hasn't had a top 10 so far this year.
And Jerry, let's get a call to Junior Johnson, who's allowed Sterling Marlin to replace Davey Allison in that 28 car.
You really have to, Bobby. You know, Junior really showing a lot of sportsmanship, even though allowing his own driver, Sterling Marlin, to get in Davey Allison's car could actually hurt him in the long run because Bill Elliott's car is somewhat crippled, not running around at full speed. And by season's end, those points could cost them possibly a championship. So a good move, a very sportsmanlike move for the legendary Junior Johnson.
There is Sterling Marlin driving the Hamilton Ford number 28. Davey Allison crashed this car earlier in the event, has sore ribs and has elected not to go back out there, but Sterling Marlin is. We've got now 28 laps to go.
Ned, is this for the last spot on the winner's circle? Is there a spot open on winner's circle? I believe there is.
I guess there is. Bill Elliott took one. Nobody else has won one since then. Boy, would that be a boost for the Joe Gibbs team.
That's an appearance money of about, what, $6,000 to $7,000 per race for the remainder of the year for which of these cars can win the race if either of them should win.
That's right. Either Kowicki or Jarrett would get home the winner's circle.
A lot is at stake, and John Crandon is with our Western auto mechanic of the race.
We're with Jimmy Makar, who is busy watching Dale Jarrett, watching the progress. And now he just saw that Alan Kowicki did get by, but Jimmy, you're named the mechanic of the race, even though you're now in second. Do you think Dale might be able to come back and catch him?
I'm not sure I heard what you said, but we really appreciate Western Auto's award. Again, like everybody else, this award goes to all the guys here on the team. It's a team effort. They've done a heck of a job today. We've come this far in such a little bit of time. I just hope we can go on and, win this race. Alan's give us a heck of a run right now. Went by us. We still got a few laps left. Maybe Dale can do a little something with him. I don't know.
That's Jimmy Makar. He couldn't hear the question, guys, because we're at the exit of turn number 4. It's very, very loud down here.
Obviously is. Less than 25 to go now, and Alan Kowicki has passed Dale Jarrett.
Kowicki got in the side of that 10 car just a moment ago, coming off turn 2. I was going to wait and see, make sure he didn't cut a tire when he made contact with him. Dale is trying so hard. I mean, you can just almost feel Jarrett trying so hard. Just keep up, and maybe I can get him a traffic situation and get by him like he got by me.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to try too hard to get, he's running on a fine line, both of them up there on that high groove. Boy, just as we've seen Hut Strickland a couple times today up in turn 4, just 6 inches too far up there, and you're in deep trouble. Ken Schrader's still running third in this race in the lead lap. Terry Labonte is fourth, also in the lead lap, and in fifth place is car number 8 of Dick Trickle, who is 1 lap down.
Their pole sitter, Alan Kowicki. Bob said he can take off the Unical Challenge, $22,800 plus the winner's circle. This could be a huge, huge payday for Kowicki.
Sure could.
The race probably pays $60,000, $70,000 to win. 20 races times 7,000, another 140,000, 50,000 in winner's circle money. 23,000 here. We're talking about a $250,000 payday for Kowicki if he can hold on.
19 laps to go. 19 to go for Kowicki.
And since he doesn't have to split it with anyone, he's the owner and driver.
Yep.
Big leg.
Get him pull away a little bit from Dale now. He has the faster car. I don't believe there's any doubt about it. Dale did a good job of holding him off for a long period of time, but
he sure did.
Just couldn't quite do it. Schrader's about a half a lap behind in third place. Terry Labonte is about a second behind Schrader.
About a half a straightaway. The Interstate Battery Chevrolet, owned by that man, Coach Joe Gibbs, the Washington Redskins, and he has to be smiling. The team has obviously come together in just these first few races.
I tell you what, he will be pumped when he gets back to Washington tomorrow. That's where he's going from here. To come this close, this early
in the 6th race. Yeah,
6th race.
Well, they got a press conference scheduled for Tuesday in Charlotte.
You want to tell us about that?
I don't know about that.
So come on, Ned.
You'll have to watch Speed Week next week at 7:30 to find out. 15 laps to go.
Kowicki's not pulling away.
I think Dale's tried so hard there, Benny, for a few laps, maybe heated his tires up, and he said, hey, this is not smart. I need to settle down here, get myself back in a pattern, and just see if I can keep those tires cool and possibly get back up there.
Another Napa Field summary for you. 4 cars on the lead lap with Dick Trickle running 5th a lap down. Dick has had a great run.
there's some heavy traffic directly in front of the Hooters Ford. There he's going by Greg Sachs. Another traffic in front of him. That's the 66 car Chad Lilly below him. Hutch Strickland directly in front of him, the Rebestos Buick.
Hutt moves over and lets Allen pass on the high side.
Yeah, every one of them moved down, gave them plenty of room up there on the high side.
As physical this racetrack is, I'm sure all these drivers want this baby to be over.
And they've only got 11 laps before that happens.
You can see that's the green and black car right behind 7. That's him. Dale Jarrett in second place. We talked about being a $250,000 lick for Kowicki, about $225,000 if the Dale Jarrett automobile can pull this thing off. Bonuses. The first.
Kowicki has had 3 top 10 finishes this year. He was 4th at Daytona, 2nd at Richmond, and 7th at Atlanta. And looking for Winston Cup win number 4 in 179 Winston Cup starts. Ernie Irvin takes the Kodak Chevy behind the wall again.
Yeah, and this is home for this team. Team is based about 25-30 miles down the road. Always want to show good here. They will not.
8 laps to go. 8 to go for Alan Kowicki.
And is beginning to open up the margin just a little bit, Bob, as they work that traffic. Not much, but maybe just a car length.
There is quite a bit of traffic up ahead for Allen that he's going to have to continue.
A lot of traffic.
Yeah, in the next 8 laps. 7 to go.
Chased by Mater, but there's Rusty Wallace. And Wallace is going to be going by cars about the time Kowicki gets to him, so let's see.
Well, that is a lot of traffic up there.
This could be interesting, fans. Don't go away.
Oh, Rusty moves over. What a great move by Rusty. He saw Kowicki coming, moved over, let him go.
Everybody just pulling down to the inside lane, slowing down, letting the leaders go. Now Rusty, he saw Jarrett coming, so he pulls down, lets him go as well.
Now less than 5 circuits remaining on this half-mile racetrack.
Well, I tell you, Kowicki's counting every one of them. Because he knows, he's seen today what can happen. Just any instant. You saw Earnhardt. Seemingly had a good run going, was going to challenge the 7 car. Right front tire went down into the wall.
Brett Bodine had a good run going until he ran into the problems.
Yep. Here's the 4th place car, Terry Labonte, about to go a lap down.
Yep. This might be the break that Jarrett needs. No. On the inside. I wonder if Labonte knew he was there.
Dave Mater has run good in that 9 car today.
Yeah, he has.
Got some laps down, but he has run good. Just 2 laps to go.
Yep. Kowicki passes by Dale Earnhardt again, who's running very slowly at the bottom of the track.
2 laps to go.
It appears as if Alan Kowicki will win his 4th Winston Cup race here this afternoon. Here comes the white flag. 1 more lap to go for Allen. Greenfield, Wisconsin driver who first win came in his 85th start at Phoenix. He was the 1986 Winston Cup Rookie of the Year. He's in turn number 3, now in turn number 4. The Ford win streak continues. Bill Elliott's streak is broken. Alan Kowicki wins the Food City 500.
There's 2 races in a row here in Bristol for Kowicki. He won the race at night last August.
And there is the 3rd place car, Ken Schrader. He begins to turn his season around. A good run for Ken. Here's John Kernan.
Well, we're with Paul Andrews, a very happy Paul Andrews. Tell you, Dale gave him everything he wanted, but Alan pulled his tires there a little bit and then made his move, didn't he?
Yeah, you know, Alan did a good job, and all the guys on the crew done a great job. You know, the Hooters Ford ran good all day long. We knew this was going to be a good race for us, and we also know this is going to be a good year for us. This right here proves it. You know, we're off to a good start, and we know we're just looking forward to this year and the rest of this year. You know, we got a real good group of guys, and I just can't say enough about that. You know, we got our pit stops together. Things looking up. You know, Alan's kept us cool all day long, like you said. You know, Earnhardt give him a good run for his money, but you know, he was right there. He was right there all the way. Alan stayed with him and didn't lose his head. Done a real good job in the car.
That's Paul Andrews, very happy crew chief who's headed to victory lane.
And so is Dr. Jerry Punch. Alan Kowicki has arrived at the gas pumps. We'll be back to talk with the winner of the Food City 500, Alan Kowicki, in a moment.
Racing fans know nothing can match the speed, power, and action of NASCAR. The best drivers in the world pushing 200 miles an hour in heart-stopping racing excitement. And nothing brings you closer to the action than the NASCAR Video Collection. Each one-hour cassette takes you behind the scenes with exclusive footage you won't see anywhere else. Get an insider's view of the developments in America's fastest-growing sport. You can start your NASCAR Video Collection at this special introductory price of only $9.95. Other cassettes will follow about every month for the regular price. There's no obligation. Cancel anytime. Join the NASCAR video team now. It's the inside track to America's ultimate motorsport, NASCAR.
To order your first 60-minute NASCAR video, call now toll-free 1-800-348-2900. Use your credit card and get the special introductory price of only $9.95. Call now 1-800-348-2900. That's 1-800-348-2900.
America's Cup 92 on ESPN. The race is on to determine which boats will duel for the cherished America's Cup. Watch the Challenger and Defender semifinals today live on ESPN.
To demonstrate the superior color of new Kodak Gold 400 film, just open a box. It has the richest, most vivid color available in a high-speed film. New Kodak Gold 400. Fast film. True colors.
The Food City 500 at Bristol has been won by Alan Kowicki. Dale Jarrett finishes second, then Ken Schrader, Terry Labonte, and Dick Trickle finished in 5th position. Our Speed World coverage being brought to you by Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. And by Autolite Spark Plugs, guaranteed for 2 years, no matter how far you go. So the sellout crowd, record crowd for a spring race begins to file out of this racetrack. And here is our Kodak Winner's Circle interview and Jerry Punch.
After climbing out of the car and a big drink of cold Gatorade, Alan, congratulations on a tremendous effort today.
Yeah, thanks. It was a great run for us. That's probably the strongest I've ever been for a whole race, and the car worked great right from the drop of the green flag. Just as good as it did in qualifying, really. We didn't change very much, and we just had a good run there. I almost messed it up for myself there. We just went over the front line a little bit on the last pit stop and backed up, and Dale Jarrett gave me a good hard run at the end there. I had to work pretty hard to get him, but we pulled off a pretty good move in traffic to get it. And I just want to thank my sponsors, Hooters Restaurants, Naturally Fresh Salad Dressings, Classic Mixes, and Ford Motor Company, and the whole team, Paul Andrews and Danny Glad, and all the guys on the crew in the engine shop, Ron Vaccaro and Randy Clary. And also want to say hi to Jeff Bice and Tony Gibson, a couple of crew members that had to be back with family situations today. I'm sure they're missing being here, but we got a good team, and we're looking forward to the rest of the year, believe me.
Special day for Special K, Kowicki and Victory Lane. Let's go to John Crandon.
Well, with second place finisher Dale Jarrett. And Dale, you got a smile. Looks like you won this thing.
Well, we came close anyway. Interstate Batteries Food Line Chevrolet was good all day, and we were a little loose at the first, but my man in the pits, Jimmy Maycar, got that fixed, and the car tightened up a little bit on that last. I thought I might could hold Alan off, but congratulations to him. And before we get off here, I got to say hello to Kelly and Natalie and Carson, who are back home. They couldn't make the trip because Carson's got the chicken pox.
All right, Dale Jarrett, second place. Feel that his season is turning around.
It's 6 in a row for Ford at the beginning of the season. That ties a record set by Hudson in 1952. Back in a moment.
I've got the car. I've got the team. And I've got the drive. I'm off to a great start.
McDonald's has everything under the sun to get your day off to a great start. Hot, fluffy biscuits, scrumptious Egg McMuffin sandwiches, and griddle fresh hotcakes.
You know, when you get off to a great start, there's just no telling how far you can go.
Hey, Eric and Daryl, where can I see you buddies belting curves?
In your face.
So, Dan Marino, where's a dolphin land after the offseason?
In your face.
Greg Norman, where's a great white shark?
In your face.
ESPN, your face.
Sports fans turn to ESPN first because great sports are always
In your face. In your face.
In your face, Nate.
ESPN, ESPN, your face.
Congratulations to Alan Kulwicki, who won today's Food City 500 here at Bristol International Raceway. Now, don't go away. We'll be back with a complete wrap-up of this race. But right now, let's go to Jim Kelly and Gary Jobson in San Diego for a preview of what's coming up next.
Our ESPN sailing team welcomes you live to San Diego. That picture Harbor Town in the background, pictures from Point Loma out on the race course. 2 challengers and 2 defenders going at each other. It is the A3 contingent. We're on board USA 23. That is Buddy Melgus back at the helm of 23, the boat that he called fast as a scalded pig. He was not out on the race course yesterday competing against Dennis Conner, bumped from the boat. They actually bumped Gary Jobson, Kimo Worthington from the B boat up to the A boat. Kimo steered yesterday for most of the race. Then Bill Koch took over, but Buddy's back on board today.
Well, Jim, when you have Buddy Melgus aboard your boat, it's like having Joe Montana in the lineup in a football game. It's very confusing why Bill Koch keeps rotating people around. The challengers on the other side of the fence are getting stronger and stronger and stronger by staying with the same people.
So it's A3 up against stablemate Kansas today. France, they're taking on the Kiwis. Italy against Japan. It's all coming up next live from the Pacific. But right now, let's go back to Bob Jenkins. Robert?
Thank you very much, guys. We'll be looking forward to your coverage coming up in about 5 minutes. But stay tuned. We're going to have a complete field rundown and how the points stand when we come back to Bristol.
Hey, Mark, what's it like?
What?
Driving one of those souped-up family cars.
I don't think you can handle it, Al. Sometimes we bump into each other.
Yeah, but it's always in slow motion.
Are you going to take that from a guy who can't do anything for more than 5 seconds at a time?
Turn and face your accuser, Joe.
I don't have to turn, man. I'm a drag racer.
What makes a mountain man a mountain man? Let's find out. Must a mountain man be a big burly guy with an axe? A man of steel? Must a mountain man even be a man? Actually, the only requirement is the right beer. Smooth bush beer or easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and learn what makes the typical mountain man anything but.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
Alan Kulwicki wins the Food City 500 here at Bristol International Raceway. Dale Jarrett, a very fine run, finishes second, his best short track career finish. Ken Schrader, a great race in third. Terry Labonte, a consistent fourth. And Dick Trickle ended up a lap down, but in fifth position. Let's take a look now at the entire field rundown of where they placed in this afternoon's event.
Of course, Ricky Rudd was 6th. He was 1 lap down. Morgan Shepherd hung in there, even though he had a lot of unscheduled pit stops, finished his 7th. Hut Strickland spun out a couple of times, still finished 8th. Rusty Wallace, a lot of unscheduled pit stops with 9th. And Derek Cope had his problems, still finished 10th.
There's Brett Bodine, who had one of the better cars earlier on, penalized by NASCAR, then got to the wall later. Greg Sachs finished 13th. Musgrave and Mark Martin, after all his problems, finished 15th today.
16 through 20 in today's event. Dave Mater, Michael Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt 18th, Kyle Petty, and Bill Elliott finishes 20 after 4 straight wins.
21 through 25, Brad Teague, Wally Dallenbach Jr., Chad Little, Ernie Irvin, and Darrell Waltrip.
Now 26 through 30 was Bobby Hamilton, Richard Petty, Davey Alsner, points leader way back in 28th spot. Harry Gant, who was 3rd going in, back in 29th, and Rick Mest. And 31st and 32nd, Dave Marcus, and Sterling Marlin credit to the last spot.
And speaking of the points now, Davey Allison hangs on. Doesn't look like that the points changed very much, at least the top 4. However, they tightened up. Allison still on top, then Elliott. Gant is third, Labonte fourth, and Alan Kowicki moves up from 7th to 5th in the point standing. 6th through 10, Morgan Shepherd. Jeff Bodine now 7th in points. Earnhardt remains in 8th. Dick Trickle remains in 9th, and Mark Martin still hanging in there in 10th position after 6 races in the Winston Cup standing.
Then it's Rudd, Musgrave, Schrader, Hut Strickland, Kyle Petty, 15th. About the next 5, Rusty Wallace, Michael Waltrip, Derek Cope, Rick Maston, Brett Bodine, the last paying spot in points.
We'll be on from North Wilkesboro next week, and our pre-race show comes on at 12:30, and the green flag will drop on the First Union 400 at 1 o'clock. So don't forget to join us at 12:30 as we have a half-hour pre-race show setting up our green flag coverage of the First Union 400.
There's last year's winner, Darrell Waltrip of the First Union 400, ran well today.
But today, the man who ran well was Alan Kowicki, who won his 4th Winston Cup event and his first at Bristol International Speedway. Well, thanks to Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch, and thank you for joining us from Bristol. We'll see you next week. This is Bob Jenkins. So long, everyone.
The following is an exclusive presentation of ESPN.
France's Marc Pajot knows pressure, and he certainly knows how to win. From Thursday's smashed-in bow and downright desperation to yesterday's huge come-from-behind win against Italy. The fabulous French now tied for first, trying to get one big step closer to the Cup. Today, they face their first-place counterparts, the Kiwis and Rod Davis, and it's getting a little rough. This the scene earlier this morning. NZL 20, Rod Davis, David Barnes being towed out from Kiwi-Nato. Coronado hoping to break that first place tie with these guys, the French, being towed out from Mission Bay. And how about those French supporters? All of a sudden, after being involved in 2 protest situations before the pre-start, the French rebounded, and now there's a 3-way tie atop our Louis Vuitton leaderboard. France, Italy, and the Kiwis all at 3-2. And Japan, they were 7-0 at the end of the 3rd round robin, but a dismal beginning to this 4th Challenger semifinal series. They are just at 1-4. Hi again, everybody. Welcome back. Gary Johnston, what about the Nippon Challenge right now? They are just moments away from saying sayonara.
Well, Jim, Chris Dixon in Nippon cannot afford any losses at all. You know, we saw him in Australia amass a 37-1 record. He looked invincible, and then he fell apart against Dennis Conner. He won all the races in the 3rd round robin here, and the same thing seems to be happening again. He's only 1 win and 4 losses now. He's up against Paul Kayard, who's very aggressive, very tough. Dixon, it's crunch time, and he really needs to start winning right now.
Well, if you weren't with us yesterday, where in the world were you? You missed a couple of terrific races and some key wind shifts. The ability to pick the correct wind shift, Gary, is the story of this regatta.
You know, with all the technology here, it's coming down to tactics and boat handling making the difference. And Omoro, the red boat, ended up jibing away when they were leading ahead of the French boat, let him go, and ended up losing the race. It was a tactical error, very costly error, and the kind that we're not used to seeing Paul Kayard make.
Speaking of errors, maybe A3 made one yesterday. At least Bill Cope bumped Buddy Melgus, the most experienced helmsman in the A3 camp, off of the A boat, A3. He was over on Defiant doing some training. Supposedly, we were told, getting ready to race on Kansas. So today, in the intramural matchup, A3 against Kansas, guess where Buddy is? He's back on A3. Bill Koch is steering Kansas, the heavy air boat. A3 is the lighter air boat. Kansas tied with Stars and Stripes after Dennis dusted off Kimo Worthington and Koch yesterday. A3 in trouble. This is a boat, Peter Eisler, that was 12-2. How about some numbers?
With only 3 boats entered in the Defender semifinals, Bill Koch's team has had the luxury of knowing all along that at least one of its boats would make it into the finals. Their goal has been to try to eliminate Team DC, but Stars and Stripes has won 3 out of 4 in this round, and their magic number is down to 2. That means any combination of Stars and Stripes victories or losses by USA 23, the total 2, make sure that Dennis makes it into the finals. Keep that in mind today. If Kansas beats USA 23, Dennis's magic number drops to 1, and they still have 6 race days to go after today.
So Pedro, Dennis Conner, Tom Whidden, all the boys in blue rooting for Kansas to put another goose egg up there for A3 to help Dennis's chances of making it into the Defender Finals. Dennis gets the day off, but he'll be watching the racing along with you. ESPN's live and exclusive coverage of the America's Cup 92. Today's coverage is being brought to you by Cadillac and your local Cadillac dealer. Discover how substance is taking shape Cadillac style. By AT&T, proud sponsor of the 1992 U.S. Olympic team. And by Citizen Watch Company, official timer of the America's Cup.
The sails aren't made of canvas anymore. The decks have never tasted varnish. And it takes more than a ship's bell to count time. But as long as the sea is salty and the wind blows hard, the sailor can never be replaced. The Citizen Watch Company salutes all those competing for the America's Cup. Citizen, official timer of the America's Cup.
I never knew what it was like to run with the wind. The Stars and Stripes of Team Dennis Conner has inspired an Eldorado as distinctive as the individual who will drive it. The limited edition Stars and Stripes Eldorado commemorates Cadillac's support of Team Dennis Conner's defense of the America's Cup. It's something America can be proud of.
Listen here, Coach Ray's got a big announcement for you. See, that special AHA ingredient is so popular, we're making April National AHA Month.
AHA will be everywhere this April. Grocery stores, restaurants, beaches, parks, everywhere. And to kick it off, we're sending 1 million lucky Diet Coke drinkers a free case of Diet Pepsi. Guaranteed delivery by UPS.
It's the celebration of the year, baby. You got the right one, baby.
With 100% AHA.
What entrepreneurs do is they find an idea and then they risk everything every day.
We design contemporary fashions from traditional African fabrics. We're based in Oakland, but we do a lot of business with LA and Seattle.
What I recommended for her was the AT&T Small Business Option Area Code Plan, which gives them an automatic 10% discount to 1 or 2 area codes that they call most. Every customer has a goal. What we want to do is help them to achieve that goal.
We can make a difference. AT&T. Call us.
We are back live. The Defenders semifinals. USA 28, that is Kansas. Bill Koch is the skipper today. Bill Campbell is the navigator. Dave Dellenbaugh is the tactician. Meanwhile, on USA 23, Buddy Melgus is the skipper. Bob Baldridge is the navigator. And Kimo Worthington is the tactician. An offshore flow should dominate today as we check our Cadillac race conditions. Breeze building up to about 11 knots right now. Seas at about 2 feet. Clouds this morning thinning out over the afternoon. That is Dawn Riley over on the left-hand side of your screen. We are back on board Kansas. Dawn in the pit.
Jim, these conditions today seem to favor Kansas, which is designed for about 10 to 11 miles per hour, while America Cube peaks out at around 7 or 8 miles per hour.
Here it's the weekend, so we might have some new first-time viewers. Again, the pre-start gyration, what's it all about?
Well, Jim, the whole idea here is to get an advantage over your opponent. You have 10 minutes of circling and maneuvering before the start. You want to be as close to the line as you can, the starting line, with as much speed as possible. And you can see here the two boats. Kansas 28 is leading, going around a spectator boat. They're using it as a pick, just like you would in a basketball game.
John Huffnagel, Art Price, Rock Ferrigno, Rick Bent, the Grinders.
That boat is one of the support boats for America Cube, so giving their own fans a good show.
Peter Eisler, how do things look from your vantage point in the pre-start?
Well, Jim, I've been surprised today. It's a lot rougher than we've seen in any other day out here so far. The sea conditions very choppy. And the breeze is stronger than we thought it would be. I'd say about 12 knots right now. So Gary's right. Kansas should have the edge in boat speed today, but that hasn't made a lot of difference in the last few races.
Peter, from our vantage point in the pre-start, they seem to be going after each other. We're on the helicopter shot now overhead. They seem to be going after each other very good.
Yes, they do. It's a clockwise circling, and with that spectator boat in the middle, nobody's going to gain an advantage yet, just killing some time. And I guess if their spectators see the keel, the underwater foils, it's not too big of a secret.
Again, the big story of yesterday was the fact that Buddy Melgus, the most experienced helmsman in the A3 camp, was actually bumped off the boat, if you will, though Bill Koch last night at the press conference said it was actually Buddy's idea. Buddy thought there was being too much interchanging in his parts philosophy, so Buddy went over on Defiant.
Jim, I think it's kind of strange for Buddy to pull himself on the boat. What's the last time you saw a professional player in any sport take himself out of the game?
Well, then it was implied also that Buddy would be aboard Kansas, you mentioned, and there he is aboard 23. What do you think that means, Gary?
I'm not sure if it's lack of planning. They're not sure what they're doing, or there is a master plan. But if there is, I don't think anybody in this team knows it. When you have Joe Montana on your team, Jim, why would you put him on the bench? That's what Buddy Melgus represents to this squad.
Well, Bill Koch was very adamant at the press conference last night that it was Buddy's idea. Of course, the explanation that was given was Buddy was really prepping to be on Kansas, which is the heavy air boat. So today, Buddy's on the light air boat 23. But Bill Koch says we have a plan. Ask him if he could take us inside the camp and give us a little bit of the mood, having lost 5 out of 6 to Stars and Stripes. He said, hey, I thought you guys were already inside my camp. On board, USA 23. Buddy Melgus is the skipper. I mentioned Kimo Worthington. He was co-helmsman with Bill Koch yesterday on this same boat.
And Kimo Worthington is steering the boat on the start here. Kimo's a great sailor from San Francisco Bay, but making his debut as a helmsman in the races.
Per Anderson on the main. Josh Belsky in the pit. Rick Burnham up on the bow. And that's Chad Van de Sandy, the blonde-haired fellow there grinding away. Our ESPN sail track. It's like a California freeway.
America Cube, the red boat, looks to have the advantage here, driving Kansas away from the line.
Peter, from your vantage point, which is the favored end, the committee boat or the pin end of the line?
Well, Jim, all along looking upwind, we think there may be a right-hand shift expected. So irregardless of which end is further upwind, as Dennis explained last night, you got to go for that first shift. I'd like the right.
There is the line. Bottom of the screen is the pin end. Committee boat end at the top.
A lot smaller spectator fleet today for this matchup between America Cube and Kansas. I think everybody over in the Challenger fleet, Jim.
Well, we've got 2 Challenger races coming up. The Kiwis up against the French and Italy against Nippon. Those will be the feature races. Inside of 3 minutes now in the pre-start. Kansas on the left. A3 over on the right. Still in the spectator fleet. Peter, you know that the boys in the Stars and Stripes compound will have that satellite dish tuned in. They'll be watching, keeping an eye on this race to see if Kansas can beat stablemate A3 and keep the goose eggs up there.
Last time the 2 boats raced, Kansas did come out on top. Boy, Jim, look at the size of the swell here. You can just see the large waves. Very big swell today. Long period between the waves. How high would you say they are, Peter?
The waves today, Gary, 3 feet.
Crazy Horse there. That's Bill Packer's boat.
We're on board Kansas. She's the leeward boat away from the wind and has the right of way. And you'll notice the bowman there, Jerry Kirby, with his thumb up in the air, which means there's no overlap between the boats. Or you could swing your bow through, telling the helmsman, David Dellenbaugh, that you could swing through right now. And he'll keep his thumb up or down. If it's down, there's an overlap where you cannot swing through.
Peter Eisler, who's got the advantage from your vantage point?
Jim, to be honest with you, we're over on the Challenger course, and our reception isn't good enough to see the monitor right now. Sorry.
Well, I think the leading boat here does have the advantage, Jim, because he's blocking the wind of the trailing boat. But there's still a fair bit of time before the start. Notice the good discipline aboard the boat as we look here. All the guys on the crew are concentrating on trimming the sails, concentrating on grinding the winches, and not spending a lot of time looking at the other boat. That's the job of the tactician and the helmsman, to watch the other boat. Everybody else's job is to concentrate on time. Here we go, 32 seconds to the start. Kind of a strange move to be jiving at this time. It'll be very hard to get up to speed for the boat on the right. Almost the same move we saw Dennis Conner make the other day.
Of course, as Dennis pointed out, he got to the line 16 seconds late yesterday. Being 16 seconds late doesn't always mean you're 16 seconds behind if you pick the right shift. Hands on the left. Oh, it's A cube. It's USA 23 that got the start. So a good move by Kimo Worthington. And swinging over, Dave Dellenbaugh, trailing now. So A3 over on starboard tack, and USA 28 on port tack. Good job by the Buddy Melgus and by Baldridge and Kimo Worthington.
And right away they go into a tacking duel, Jim. Hands are well behind, about a length and a half after the start. And this is the equivalent of kicking off on a touchdown. The other guy runs in for a score and being behind 7-0. 30 seconds into the game. That's exactly what happened here. It was a big win for America Cubed on the left.
So the tacking duel continues upwind. Great tacking duel going on. We'll be covering this race for the defenders. A3 against stablemate Kansas, and how it impacts Dennis Conner in the standings as the race to the final two for the defenders continues. Coming up, we've got our featured race of the day, the Kiwis and Rod Davis up against the French and Mark Pajot. A three-way tie atop the Challenger leaderboard.
Newport News Cable continues to bring you great entertainment value, and you can find even more great values in your cable bill this month. Take 20% off your next dry cleaning order at any Wellworth Cleaners. Fantastic three-way savings on automotive services from Sparks Computerized Car Care. Learn to play the keyboard in just 6 weeks, only $34.95 from the Center of Music. Call National Exterminating Service and get a 10% discount on any pest control service. These money-saving coupons are one more way to say thanks for subscribing to Newport News Cable.
If you're apt to wind up in the doghouse for forgetting birthdays and anniversaries, stop by the House of Flowers in Farm Fresh and give us all those dates you usually forget. Then we'll automatically call and remind you at no charge when the date's coming up. This will actually save you money, because if you remember, you'll give these. If you forget, you'll have to give these. House of Flowers in Farm Fresh. One of many reasons we're Virginia's grocery store.
America's Cup 92, and take the cup home, or the polo shirt, or the watch, or the glassware, or the jacket, or the hats, or the jewelry. Choose from a collection of officially licensed products of America's Cup 92, available now at retailers across the country. Or you can call today for your free official 1992 America's Cup merchandise catalog. Call 1-800-92-CUP-92 and take the cup home, America.
France and New Zealand 3-2. Likewise Italy, Japan 1-4. France and New Zealand will do at each other. The Kiwis and the French.
Jim, you have France on the left, the Kiwis on the right. France in the controlling position, driving the Kiwis away from the starting line. Both helmsmen excellent. at starting.
The after guard, David Barnes, of course, he was the helmsman aboard the big boat back in the mismatch in '88. There's the pin end of the line. You really can't say enough about the great job that the French did in repairing the bow aboard their boat. Right now we're on board with the Kiwis, but of course after that pre-start collision, Gary, the other day, and you can see we're inside of 6 minutes of the pre-start, where Nippon was rammed in the back end and there was a gaping 2-foot hole in the bow of France. They worked 23 hours, right, literally almost round the clock to get that boat repaired, and then they came back yesterday. They were behind Italy going on around that 7th mark, and then Pajot, great job picking the right wind chip. Big upset against Italy, and some renewed spirit over in the French camp, I think. I mean, you can almost sense it.
Well, I think the French have got to be very happy being 3-2 at this point with all the problems they've had. And if you tried to get that work done at your local boatyard, it'd probably take a month and $50,000 when they did it in just one day. France on the left here, Jim, does have the advantage over New Zealand on the right because they're blocking the wind. And the game for France is to slow New Zealand down by blocking their wind, using their sail shadow to slow New Zealand down. New Zealand, on the other hand, needs to sail fast to force France over the line. Some pretty big waves here on this course, too, just like we saw on the defense course.
Marc Pajot is a name that many of you remember, of course, from Fremantle. He was the skipper aboard French Kiss. This is his second America's Cup campaign, one of France's highest paid athletes, and a novice golfer in his own right. Took off during round robins 3 and 4, played some golf, and checked out the Grand Canyon for the first time. And his veteran afterguard technician Marc Bouet, he will actually be the helmsman in the pre-start, and Bertrand Passet, veteran of the match race circuit. There's the bowman, Alan Smith, aboard the Kiwi boat.
Jim, these boats are very close to the starting line here. A little over 3.5 minutes yet to go for this start. And this gives New Zealand the advantage because where's France going to go? They have to get back down across the starting line before the gun goes off. And New Zealand has a clear advantage, forcing them away. There's only 8 boat lengths from the line with a lot of time. They'd be up there in 45 seconds if they kept sailing. So the French can have a difficult time slowing New Zealand down. You'll notice the 2 boats signaling to each other that there's no overlap.
On board the Kiwis, watching the French boat. Peter, from where you're watching, inside of 3 minutes.
Jim, Rod Davis has done a good job here. He's pushed the French early. A little bit less than 3 minutes to go, and as Gary points out, they're almost on the line. So the trailing boat, when you get early to the line like this, always has the control.
Do you like one side of the course or the other, Peter?
Oh, Mark Walsh, our spotter here on board the announced boat, likes the left side of the line, and we still think that the breeze is going to shift to the right as the day goes on. Maybe not on this first beat, though. It's been very steady. 180 is the course actions.
At some point, the French are going to be forced to tack away. New Zealand needs to anticipate that and be able to tack and maneuver and still stay in the same position. New Zealand's going to need a little bit more speed than they have to be able to make that maneuver. When you're going slow, Jim, very hard to maneuver a sailboat.
Gary, in this much breeze, how long do you think it will take these boats to get up to full speed?
Well, we're watching from our vantage point. It takes about 40 to 45 seconds to get up to full speed from a dead stop. And when you're going half speed like they are now, probably 30 seconds. French in a lot of trouble here, being up on the line this early.
Before yesterday's race, that blue boat involved in 2 protest situations in the pre-start, and they lost them both. One time there was no collision, and they were deemed the culprit, forced to do a turn. And, of course, in the pre-start against Nippon, when there was a collision, they were also the fouler.
Makes you think they must be a little gun shy here. And Peter, when you're in this situation early and you're in France, why not do something? Why not bail out, start maneuvering, wildly getting out of there? They look too patient to me.
Well, there they go now, Gary, finally, but that was my question exactly.
And at the same time, New Zealand seems to be slow to follow when they had the advantage. They weren't ready for the maneuver.
Rod just wanted to get just a touch of boat speed before he tacked the follow there.
Notice the French boat and New Zealand boat are spinning very hard, and as a result, they're not moving through the water very fast. So the key is adjusting the sails to the direction of the wind to get speed. Interesting, the France jibed on the starboard, New Zealand jibed on the starboard, and then the French jibed back to port.
Both boats wanting the left end right now, Gary, but Davis not giving it to Bouet.
So the Kiwis headed toward the pin end of the line, and the French boat headed up toward the committee boat.
Looks like both boats will be a little bit late here.
The French are flying, though. They're going about 10 knots right now.
Boy, the waves really look big from here. Both boats late for the line.
Kiwis on starboard, France on port.
In this situation, the leading boat will tack first.
So the Kiwis are the first to tack. They swing over to starboard. And a lot of our first-time viewers might wonder, how do they determine who's ahead?
Well, they take careful judgment, and the boat that's closest to the mark they're heading for is ahead. New Zealand at the bottom of the screen is probably 2 boat lengths ahead as a result of being at the favorite end of the line. And Peter, it looks to us that New Zealand is sailing much closer to the wind, a more direct course to the first mark they're heading for.
That's right, Gary. All along, we thought that this red boat, designed by Bruce Farr, could point slightly closer to the wind than the competition. And once again today off the line, it looks like they're sailing maybe 2-3 degrees closer to the wind to the left than Ville de Paris.
Kiwis going just under 9 knots right now. The French boat going up around 10 knots. The breeze expected to be about 8 knots, Peter, right around 1 o'clock, 5 minutes from now. Favoring either boat, in your opinion?
The breeze is stronger than 8 knots for sure, Jim. It's blowing more like 11 or 12 right now. And I like the Kiwis in this much breeze. Ville de Paris has often been called the best light air boat in the series, and this is not light air for San Diego.
Mark Pajot at the helm. He looks like Inspector Clouseau today with those shades and red visor on. French leading the Kiwis, but it's early. They're in the first leg. France 3-2. Likewise, the Kiwis, and still to come, Italy 3-2. Caird and company up against the Japanese. They're at 1-4 and hoping to avoid saying sayonara to this regatta.
Citizen ProMaster Flight Chronograph indicates 22 time zones. Navigation calculator.
You weren't lying when you said you were a pilot, were you?
Citizen ProMaster for professional use only.
Forget about one-size-fits-all as a marketing strategy. Today, you have to make each customer feel unique.
At AT&T, we have a range of calling plans that match the way small companies do business.
In 1978, I created my first racing wheelchair. Today, I make it for people all over the world. Probably 99% of my business is done long distance.
AT&T created Pro Watts for businesses that depend on long distance. The more you call, the higher the discount.
We're based in Oakland, but we do a lot of business with LA and Seattle.
AT&T Small Business Option Area Code Plan gives an automatic 10% discount on the 1 or 2 area codes they call most.
We sell toys from all over the world. We call Russia, Hungary, China. We're working now out of 3 locations just to fill the demand.
For small businesses that have grown to more than 1 location, our custom net plan combines their long distance bills for the maximum possible discount.
Rule number 1 is know the customer, and I would say rule number 2 is know the customer as well.
We can make a difference. AT&T. Call us.
pure and natural. The only beer with the genuine taste of the king of beers, Budweiser.
The Windsurfer from Citizen ProMaster. Rotating compass bezel. Auto repeat fixed timer.
We're in the rolling hills of northern Wisconsin, in the town of Crandon, with a population of normally 2,000 people. But today, 40,000 people from 7 states and Canada have converged on this racetrack for the 27th running of the True Value Brush Run 101. Weather conditions are ideal. Temperatures in the mid-60s, a brisk northerly breeze from 10 to 20 miles an hour, and very little chance of rain here in Crandon. Hello again, everybody. I'm Marty Reed, and a real treat for us here on Speed World to have the Iron Man, Ivan Stewart, alongside to help analyze today's broadcast. And Ivan, you've driven every type of race vehicle on every type of course. This is a little bit of both, a little bit of desert and a little bit of the stadium.
That's right, Marty. You know, in a stadium, we're so tight, we're so confined. You're right inside the stadium on top of everybody. There's a lot of traffic, not much speed, opposed to a desert where we're doing 120 miles an hour possibly, Baja 1,000 across these rough terrains. This is something in between. This is a lot of speed, a lot of ups and downs, beautiful rolling hills, great track conditions, and it takes kind of a different type of a truck. This is a kind of a specialized type of racing back here in the Midwest. I'm really looking forward to some great racing.
I got to ask you the truth. Would you rather be out there racing?
Oh, let me tell you, Marty, I'd love to be out with these guys. Like I say, the conditions are great, and I'd love to be out there.
Well, we're not going to let you out of this because we want you up here with us.
All right.
Also working with us today on the broadcast is Jerry Garrett.
Well, we're down here in the pits, Marty and Ivan, with the guy that we think is going to be the big story today, and that's Walker Evans. And what do you think about your buddy Ivan being up in the broadcast booth?
Well, I think that's a good place for him after all. I've had to contend with him for years.
You don't want to let him off the hook that easy, though, do you?
No, I really don't. I still want to race him, believe me.
Today out here, you've detuned your motor a little bit after some engine breakage in the June race. Do you think that's going to give you the reliability that you want?
Well, I certainly hope so. We've talked about it, and we think that probably we've just been trying to get too much out of them. So by slowing some of the engine speed down and changing a little bit of things inside of it, we think we got a reliable engine.
In practice, we've seen you just still screaming out there, so you must have plenty of horsepower still.
We do have plenty of horsepower. We changed the gearing a little bit, so the speed is still up.
Let's take a look while we've got a moment at the course here at Crandon. You can see on the rolling hillsides of northern Wisconsin, right in the middle is Parsons Pond. Now, the course winds its way around that body of water, and twice the drivers go by it. And it got its name last year when Dave Parsons, in this very same race, a year ago, went over and almost went in upside down into the pond. Here's the starting lineup for today's first race, which will be the Class 8 Championship. Walker Evans from Riverside and Jack Flannery will square off, along with the defending champion from the spring race, Scott Taylor, along with Pete Vandehey.
Pete leads the points championship for this series right now, and Scott is trying to catch him.
Also in the field on the starting grid will be Dave Parsons, the man who got very wet last year at this event, and Jimmy Crowder, who Ivan has made the long trek from Tallahassee, and you've raced against him.
Yeah, Jimmy comes out from Florida. He's a great driver.
Here's the rest of the starting field. Chuck Brand, Brian Dunleavy, Dennis Furden, Pat Flanagan, Don Gregory, as this is a huge Class 8 field. Dave Hockers, Frank Hood, John Conitzer, Tom Vandehey also on the starting line, and there they are. It's a long land rush start, Jerry.
Yeah, boy, it's going to get dusty for the guys in the rear of the pack, Marty. Only the guys out in front have good vision on this start. Everybody else is just about driving blind. Here's one guy who has a good view, and that's Walker Evans from in-car, our Shell Truck Guard in-car camera. He is first into turn 1.
And Ivan, the speeds they reach down through this turn 1 can sometimes reach 90 miles an hour.
That truck of Walker's is phenomenal. It's very, very fast, as you know, buddy.
Jack Flannery right behind him. Here comes the rest of the field, up and over the ridge, down through the valley into the shadow of death, because this is heading for the gravel pit where a lot of trucks end up braking.
Well, Walker has to kind of be careful right here because he's running on dry tires, desert tires, while a lot of these other guys are running on mud tires. They've watered the course extensively, and it's going to be a couple of laps until the course dries out. And until then, Walker's really got to drive very, very carefully, very technically, or else he could spin it out. We saw him spin the truck out, in fact, in the spring race, and he's going to lay off a little bit, he said, because of that.
And, Jerry, you know, Jack Flannery's got mud tires on there. That makes quite a difference until the track gets a little drier.
There's Dennis Furton trying to hold off Scott Taylor. That is the battle for third. There is your leader, Walker Evans, right behind Jack Flannery. Boy, Flannery really closes up on him there.
You can see Jack can dive a little deeper into the corners and come out with a little more traction than Walker can right now.
Walker told me before the race, you just can't have too much horsepower on this track.
Talking about horsepower, Scott Taylor's trying to find enough to get around Dennis Furton. Coming down the front straightaway again, looking to the inside. Flannery, can he make it? No. Walker Evans is going to hold the lead into turn 1 again.
Jack wanted to get out of Walker's dust and dirt a little bit there. A lot of rocks coming up. Oh, see that stuff coming in through the front windshield. Flannery taking a lot of punishment.
You can hear the crowd in the background. Ivan, can you hear them when you're in the truck?
Not really, Marty, but you can sense when there's a great race like this going on, they're into it.
Here's the battle for third. That is Scott Taylor on the outside of Dennis Furton. Can he make it stick? Up and over the rise. Way outside. Furton doing all he can to hold him off. Here comes Taylor. He's going to take the position.
You see the advantage of the horsepower there. Scott Taylor has a lot of horsepower in that Ford motor. He is coming back from a bad start, and he is way behind Walker Evans right now. I don't know if he can make it up and repeat the feat that he had here in the spring race where he won that event.
Inside again with Walker Evans. And is it really this soft a ride, Ivan?
You know, Marty, it is a soft ride. You know, the hours that we spend in there is a lot of time. That's what beats you up. And the ride quality is really very low.
Down into the hard left hand, which will take him down to the back portion of the course, and inside looking at Walker. And again, always left hand on the steering wheel, right hand on the gearbox.
Walker's always driven with that style. He's just a real relaxed driver, and that's what you want. He goes very fast, but he does it with a lot of ease. He doesn't work hard at it.
Flannery has dropped back a little bit. Walker has extended his lead as he heads down into turn 1 again.
I think Flannery has a problem.
He does. Jerry, you picked it up, and Jack Flannery is pulling over to the side. There comes Scott Taylor. He'll come past to take second place.
One of the problems that Flannery's had with this new truck, the new Chevrolet is developing, is he's got so much horsepower that's been breaking transmissions, and I think that's what's happened again because we can hear the engine running.
There's your leaderboard. Jimmy Crowder's moved up to third, Dennis Furton fourth, Dave Parsons fifth. Back with more of the True Value Brush Run after this.
Here are 10 good reasons for you to shop at True Value hardware stores. If you come up with any others, we'll be here to help. You can do it with True Value hardware stores.
In the last 5 years, one truck manufacturer has won more off-road races than anyone, including 4 class championships in 1990 and the mini and heavy metal championships. That truck manufacturer is Ford. And that kind of winning performance goes beyond the winner's circle.
Introducing the Bud Light Jaguar Racing Team. Catch it this season.
Let's go. We're all revved up and ready to go.
How do we get the truck back?
Throw it in reverse.
Let's go.
Back at the True Value Brush Run 101, this is Marty Reed along with Jerry Garrett and Ivan the Ironman Stewart, and that's Walker Evans closing in on Dave Hockers. And Ivan, when you're approaching lap traffic, what's going through your mind?
Well, on this particular course, Marty, is the rocks. A lot we don't see. There's a lot of rocks in this course, and it can knock a hole through the radiator, hit you in the face. So he has to really watch for those rocks.
Well, in past races here, in fact, in one event last year, Walker got taken out with a flat tire.
He got too close to lap traffic. The guy didn't see him in time. Came right down on top of his tire on another jump and blew his tire out, and that was the end of the day for Walker.
And you can see Walker has backed out of it a little bit here, waiting for the right opportunity to move around Dave Hockers.
I know Walker well, and he's not going to wait very long. He's going to get frustrated in a minute and take this guy. You watch him.
His patience wears thin in a hurry, you're saying.
Will the cue be when he starts banging on the steering wheel from the in-car?
And then he starts banging in the back of the truck there, and then here he goes.
The battle for second place is really a one-man show right now. Scott Taylor just not able to recover from that bad start, Jerry.
The start is a lot to do with the whole race here. If you have a bad start, you're digging yourself out the whole rest of the way, and that's what happened to Scott.
That's Dennis Furden, followed by Dave Parsons. That is the battle for third. Right behind them is Pete Van de Haye.
This would be Parsons' best finish here. Heck of a lot better than going in the pond last year.
Boy, that's for sure. I've not been able to ask him whether or not he really appreciates having the pond named after him, but it will live forever as Parsons Pond.
Well, Parsons is smoking now, so that's a problem for that truck to see if it'll hold together for another lap.
There's your overall leader, Walker Evans, with a wide lead over second place Scott Taylor. And Ivan, you can see his suspension system works so well.
Oh, Walker's got that truck really dialed in. It just carries the front end out there beautiful, just fun to watch.
This is the 877 of Pat Flanagan. Look out, the Miller Genuine Draft truck is getting a little sideways.
I guess his tires haven't quite hooked up yet.
Dave Parsons in third.
A little more smoke coming out of that car now. Looks like it might be transmission.
Down in the gravel pit one last time. This is Walker Evans looking like he's on his way to winning here in Class 8. Let's stay with him with the in-car and take it on around. What's the view like from inside when you get that checkered flag, Ivan?
Oh, there's nothing like that. That's what we race for, Marty. That's what we're all looking for is the checkered flag and the first guy to get there. That's a great feeling right there.
What about the kiss from the trophy girl?
That's part of the deal too, Marty. That's also fun.
Okay, stay with us when we come back at the True Value Brush Run 101. We'll talk to our winner, Walker Evans.
When other places have an anniversary, you expect a celebration. But when a big do-it-yourself warehouse like HQ has an anniversary, it takes the cake. HQ's anniversary celebration. Check your catalog for hundreds of special purchases, plus great day-in, day-out low warehouse prices.
Now featured GTE 75-watt R30 reflector flood bulbs for track or recessed lighting. And Leviton ground fault circuit interrupter in ivory and white.
The HQ anniversary celebration. It's big.
This is a Lennox 2-speed heat pump. Super efficient, quiet, and dependable. This is an Art Newsom service technician. Also efficient, quiet, dependable, and he's certified. Art Newsom Incorporated is a registered Comfort Assured heat pump dealer committed to quality service, qualified technicians, and satisfied customers. We promise to install your new Lennox system correctly, service it properly, and guarantee it to perform as only a Comfort Assured heat pump dealer can.
Art Newsom Incorporated on the Peninsula, 8730345.
Chalk up Winston Cup Championship number 5 to the teamwork of Dale Earnhardt, Good Wrench Racing, and genuine GM parts.
Marty Reed, Jerry Garrett, and Ivan Stewart back with you at the True Value Brush Run 101. That is our leader, Jeff Probst. And he is still running in front of John Greaves, but the battle is getting closer from those puffs of smoke. And the word we're getting from his pit, and he is stalling there, is he's having an intermittent electrical problem, Ivan.
I see. Boy, that is frustrating. He's doing so well. That's a shame.
There goes the pass for the lead. John Greaves is going to take over, and all of a sudden, see, now it cuts back in.
That's really an irritating problem, I'll tell you. But you never know what could happen. It could clear up. You never know.
What do you do in that situation? Do you feather the throttle? Do you bang on the dash?
You do a little cussing maybe, Marty, but basically maybe you can shake something on the dashboard and get the wires connect again.
Well, here is John Greaves. Whoa! Greaves gets a little wide heading down towards the big left-hander and almost collides into our base of our camera position. There's a big, huge mound of dirt there that he hits first and bounces back on course, but that allows Probst to close up.
And closing behind them, Art Schmidt in third place now. He's got designs of closing in on these guys and taking over the top spot himself.
Let's go back to this moment with John Greaves.
Little too much horsepower on the wheels there as he goes around the corner. Overcorrects coming back here and dusts off the rocks there. That's a good way to get a flat tire.
Back to the battle up front. Greaves trying to hold off Probst, and he goes around him on the outside. Can he make it stick? So obviously that electrical problem is definitely intermittent, Ivan.
Marty, I see that there's one place in the course that seems to come in worse, and that's down at the far end.
Do you notice it was on a left-hand turn there, and the gravel pit is a left-hander? Maybe that could be it, because look at this. Here is Greaves opening it up again.
That's right. I think in this next corner is where it acts up for some reason.
Oh, let's see if it happens. Big puff of smoke again. Greaves, Probst, and look at it. He stalls dead in the water. So the left-hand corners, Ivan, are absolutely deadly to Probst.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. That's just a shame, though.
That is lap traffic that just went by. He is still in second place. He's got a sizable margin back to third. There is Art Schmidt. That is lap traffic behind him. Lee Wiestoff, he had passed him earlier. And Schmidt may be able to get around, though, and pass him before this race ends. This is fourth place. Todd Adigan, he's not going to be fourth for long because you can't do it on three wheels.
He broke off the whole wheel assembly there, it looked like, Ivan.
Yeah, it sure did. It's hard to tell what happened on that. The big jump back there, evidently.
Is that usually fatigue in the part?
Normally, something like that would be fatigue. Absolutely, Marty.
That's Scott Schwalbe getting ready to come by. He has now moved into fourth place as he passes this man, Todd Adigan. Here, we'll get another look at it.
That could have been a part that was just ready to break and just happened to come loose right on that one jump.
Well, it's been very costly for Todd Adigan as he is now out of this race here in the Unlimited Buggy Challenge at the True Value Brush Run 101. Well, this is lap traffic. In fact, 3 lap vehicles in front of our race leader, John Greaves. And Greaves has opened up a wide margin over second place, Jeff Probst. But there is the leader of the race, and all he has to do is make a few more turns. Now, Ivan, do you just lay back here and not press the issue?
Well, I think he's probably aware of what's going on. As long as you're aware of who's behind you and what you can do, that's probably what he just paced himself, I'm sure.
Well, there is all the lap traffic. He is the last car in sight there. In fact, those two going for position in front of him, but there is Greaves. He'll be taking the checkered flag as he comes around the corner for the last time to win the Unlimited Buggy Challenge here at the True Value Brush Run 101. Now the question is second place. There is Jeff Probst, but there is Art Schmidt. He's going to take him as he looks like he's just not going to make it to the finish line.
Well, he had to go around that last left-hand turn before he could get to the finish line, and that just killed his chances.
So Art Schmidt will finish second. Here comes Jeff Probst, bringing it home third in a struggle at the True Value Brush Run 101. Stay with us. We'll talk to our winner right after this.
It's Saturday morning out in the garage. Time to tune up the car for a little spin at about 200 miles per hour. This is the International Racer Champion, and these are master mechanic tools from True Value hardware stores, because around here, performance really counts. And these guys need tools they can count on. So do you. So get master mechanic tools from participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Sony compact disc players. Your ears will tell you, it's not only what you play, it's what you play it on.
One manufacturer has more NASCAR victories than anyone. More NHRA Pro Stock victories than anyone. More consecutive IMSA GTO victories at Daytona than anyone. And more off-road victories in the last 5 years than anyone. That manufacturer is Ford. No wonder nobody enjoys the weekend like Ford.
Just part of the 40,000 jammed here at Crandon, Wisconsin for the True Value Brush Run 101. Let's go to our winner's circle. Here's Ivan Stewart.
Well, I got Johnny Greaves with me, the winner of this race. And Johnny, it looks like you did a heck of a job, and you had your hands full with Jeff Probst out there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, Jeff got the whole shot as usual. He's got a lot of motor there. He's running that Chevy V6, and this is our brand new Toyota 22R motor, and we thought, well, we'll give it a try out here at Crandon, and he did get a whole shot, a little more top end, but in the long run, we caught up. I don't know if he had any problems. We lost some power steering, but we hung in there, and boy, that Toyota just ran tough.
Great job, and I did notice that power steering belt was gone. Great job on that. Thank you, Johnny.
Well, that makes it tough when that power steering belt is off on this course. Our congratulations to winner John Greaves. Art Schmidt came in second. Jeff Probst had to settle for third. Scott Schwalbe came up for fourth, and James Struble was our fifth place finisher.
Well, as you look at the winners from the Unlimited Buggy Challenge, we want to tell you that the next race, the Class 7 race, got an interesting driver in it. Dave Vanden Elsen is running a truck that's totally powered by natural gas. Here's Ivan Stewart.
I'm standing here with two Class 7 trucks behind me that appear to be exactly the same, but there is one big difference. Let me show you. This is Jim Bradley's Ford, and like 99% of the trucks out here, it's powered by gasoline. And this is the Ford truck of David Vanden Elsen. And come on back and let me show you what's really unique about this particular truck.